Hello pianists, you just heard an excerpt from Kabalevsky's Toccatina Opus 27, number 12. This lyrical and mysterious piece is based primarily on right-hand first inversion triads in the key of A minor. Today we'll talk about converting root position chords to their first and second inversions. We'll be working with triads. Composers and improvisers like to go beyond just root position chords. We're all stacked in thirds. Those can only provide so much interest. Our triads can be inverted or reordered two other ways to create inversions. This will just help you move about the keyboard if you have a series of chord progressions to not have to move all root to root. Just makes it for smoother voice leading as well. So let's practice this concept, as you guessed, on C major to start. Just start with your right hand. Find your root position chord where it's all stacked in thirds. Make sure you have good 5 and 1 hand position. Your hand is level. As we practice through these chords, don't forget good technique. First inversion, we're going to take the bottom note of C and move it to the top. Now I have first inversion of C major, which is E, G, and C. Finger numbers are very important here, so use fingers 1, 2, and 5, and note you have a third and a fourth. First inversion triads will always feel like the third and fourth, and always use this fingering, so practice it from the beginning. Second inversion, we'll take our E and place it on the top of the chord for G, C, and E. I have 1, 3, 5, intervals of a fourth and a third. And then finish up with root position on the top of C, E, G. If it feels easier, you can arpeggiate the chords. Go down to second inversion. 5, 3, 1. First inversion. 5, 2, 1. Root position. 5, 3, 1. Okay, let's also practice the left hand. We'll start with root position, C major, 5, 3, 1 again. I'm on bass C. First inversion, so put the C on top, and I have E, G, C. Finger numbers 5, 3, 1 for a third and a fourth. Second inversion, put the E on top, and I have 5, 2, 1. This is handy because I have the second finger for second inversion. Fourth and a third up to root position. 5, 3, 1. Arpeggiate down if that feels easier. We have 1, 2, 5. For second inversion, first inversion, 1, 3, 5. Root position, 1, 3, 5. All right, let's practice through the next concept of finger substitution. I've been reinforcing the idea that pianists need to keep their eyes on the music or chord charts, so I need to trust how things feel within the hands. The building blocks of triads, major, minor. Same thing goes for inversions. I need to learn how to feel this and not watch my hands. So we'll use the concept of finger substitution in the right hand to begin. Watch your hands to start, and then you can follow it up with not watching. Something will be substituted by moving our 1 to our 3. So keep your 3 in place, the 1 substitutes and take over, then you can feel third, fourth. 2 stays in place until the thumb takes over, and then I feel fourth and third. 3 stays in place until the thumb substitutes for it, goes in its place, root position. So your feeling of intervals is very important here. As you descend, the 3 will get taken over by the 5, third, fourth. 3 is taken over, substituted for the 5, fourth, third. 2 stays in place till the 5 takes over, root position. Try it again with me. Try not to watch your hands. Thumb takes over, thumb takes over, thumb substitutes, back down, 5 takes over, 5 goes in place. All right, let's try that same concept in our left hand root position. 5, 3, 1. As we ascend in the left hand, the 5 will take over for the third and the second. 3 stays in place till the 5 substitutes. Then I feel a third and a fourth for first inversion. For second inversion, the 3 stays in place till the 5 takes over. 5, 2, 1 for fourth and then third. 2 stays in place until I have root position, C. Descending, the thumb will substitute for the third and the second finger. Third stays in place till the 1 takes its place, third, fourth. 2 waits till the thumb substitutes for it, fourth, third, last one, 3 waits for the thumb. Get those comfortable first hands separate, and then dive in with some hands together playing. That's still C major, but there's 2 other inversions just to give it some variety. Be patient with that. That can be really challenging if you've never had to contract your hands before and substitute fingering. It's also a really helpful skill in repertoire and for sight reading. Okay, next we're going to apply some theory to these chords. So if you ever want to read a chord chart or analyze music yourself, you need to know how to label these chords. We'll first start with more of the popular version of using lead sheets, or sometimes we call them slash chords as well. So if you want to play a C major chord in root position, you'll see uppercase letter C and nothing else. Sometimes you'll see that major in there, sometimes it'll just show C. That means major in root position. If I want to play a first inversion C chord, notice it'll say C backslash, or it gets shortened to be called a slash chord over E, meaning that the E is the lowest note of that chord inversion or the bass note. And then second inversion is a C chord over G or slash G. Root position, second inversion, C over G, C slash E, C. Okay, last up is the figured bass, which comes from the Baroque era, when Baroque keyboardists actually had to improvise based on the symbols that they saw underneath the music. Let's practice this on left hand, still in C major. So if I'm in the key of C, you see Roman numeral 1, which looks like an uppercase I. That means root position, 1 chord. If I go up to first inversion, 5, 3, 1, notice the number 6. This can be confusing at first, but think about those numbers as intervals above the bass. E up to C is a 6th. You might be asking, hey, why didn't they write the third? Third are standards of chords, so they don't need to show. They're showing what's different than a root position triad, and that would be the 6. Remember that 6 next to any Roman numeral always shows first inversion of the triad. It could be a 4, 6, 5, 6. They all mean first inversion. Second inversion, notice I have a 6 and a 4. Hopefully you can see that G to E is a 6th, G to C is a 4th. So that's how I have a 1, 6, 4. It's still the first chord of my key of C in second inversion. So memorize that 6 means first inversion, 6, 4 means second inversion. So I would encourage you to practice this in various keys and name lead sheets out loud and Roman numerals. Let's try out our inversions with figured bass in the popular key of D major. Let's practice our left hand. So root position, we have our 1 chord if I'm in the key of D. First inversion, 1, 6. Second inversion, 1, 6, 4. Root, 1, 6, 4. Second inversion, 1, 6. First inversion. I would encourage you to say it out loud. That'll help you remember these symbols. That way when you analyze it, you remember what numbers go with your chords. Okay, let's try out the right hand in D major. Naming our lead sheet symbols are our popular chords. So we have D major. First inversion is D over F sharp or D slash F sharp. D slash A. D for root. D slash A for second. D slash F sharp. Remember when you have black keys, go in towards the fallboard. Back to root position. So practice all of these in your major keys, even minor keys, naming your lead sheet symbols or slash chords and your Roman numerals out loud. We'll conclude by listening to a fuller excerpt of that Toccatina by Kabalevsky, and you'll see the analysis for just those right hand chords. So you'll see the lead sheets or the slash chords above the right hand notes, and you'll see those inversion symbols and Roman numerals below the staff. This is an A minor, the relative minor to C, so 1 is based on A.